The 2026 Men's World Cup is going to be massive. Spread across the US, Canada, and Mexico, 48 teams will compete in front of millions of fans. But for those looking at the final, a single premium ticket has already been spotted with a $33,000 price tag. Paying that much doesn't even guarantee the view you bought. FIFA has been caught redrawing stadium maps right before match day in a move called magic seating. The organization inserts a new front row directly ahead of the original one, effectively pushing high-paying fans back a row, sometimes into corners with restricted views. At the same time, FIFA is using dynamic pricing algorithms. These systems monitor traffic to the official site and automatically spike ticket costs the moment they detect high demand. Between late 2025 and early 2026, core ticket prices jumped an average of 34% in just 4 months. When you combine these price surges with the reshuffled seating maps and a demand 10 times higher than previous tournaments, the event becomes physically and financially out of reach for most fans. These practices have triggered a legal confrontation. The Attorneys General of New York and New Jersey have issued judicial summons to FIFA, launching formal investigations into price manipulation and consumer fraud. This creates a strange paradox. A decade ago, the U.S. Department of Justice spent years dismantling FIFA's leadership to stop this kind of exploitation. To understand how the 2026 tournament reached this point, we have to look back at the analog system the U.S. government thought it had destroyed. In 1998, FIFA established a distribution model that bypassed the general public. Large chunks of the stadium were reserved for the football family, VIPs, sponsors, and travel agencies. This was the start of Sepp Blatter's 17-year tenure as president, an era defined by a complex web of patronage and diverted assets. Blatter's system relied on diverting ticket allocations to shadow companies and preferred partners. In 2014, authorities linked a massive hospitality contract to a company controlled by Blatter's nephew. By starving the official box office and funneling tickets to these private intermediaries, FIFA created a massive artificial supply vacuum. This vacuum fueled a global black market, where tickets were resold for 10 times face value, with the profits flowing back to the very officials who restricted the supply. This continued until the cartel made a tactical error involving the U.S. banking system. Because officials used American banks and servers to process bribes, they inadvertently gave the U.S. Department of Justice a clear path to prosecution. The breakthrough came when the FBI targeted Chuck Blazer, a high-ranking FIFA official living a lavish lifestyle in Trump Tower. To avoid prison for tax evasion, Blazer became a confidential informant, recording his colleagues discussing kickbacks. In May 2015, Swiss police acting for the DOJ raided the Bauer Olac Hotel in Zurich. They used RICO statutes, the same laws used to prosecute the mafia, to arrest the organization's leadership in a single sweep. The fallout ended Blatter's career. At his final press conference, a protester threw bundles of fake cash into the air, creating a global image of a leadership drowning in its own greed. The DOJ raid removed the old guard and dismantled the bribery networks, leading many to believe that the era of secret hospitality deals and diverted tickets was over. When Gianni Infantino took over, he promised a new level of transparency for the 2026 World Cup. He moved to eliminate the backroom scalpers and middlemen who had plagued the organization for decades. However, the secondary market didn't disappear. FIFA simply internalized it. On FIFA's official resale platform, the organization takes a 15% cut from both buyer and seller. On a $33,000 ticket, FIFA collects over $10,000 in fees alone, directly profiting from the price surges they once claimed to fight. FIFA has institutionalized the secondary market, capturing the profits that used to flow to street-level scalpers and moving them directly onto their own corporate balance sheet. Football has a history as a working-class sport, built on physical accessibility. Today, the organization that governs it has repurposed it as an elite financial instrument. The core lesson here is that when predatory organizations are forced to change, they often use that pressure to modernize their tactics. The 2015 crackdown removed the individual criminals, but the institutional incentives remained. FIFA simply replaced the backroom bribe with a public, legalized algorithm.